Welcome to Yo-11 Minutes. Yo-11 Minutes, mostly Vegas, no BS casino experience and more. Michael Traeger is a casino and travel loyalty expert who also helps people turn their travel dreams into reality. And now your host, Michael Traeger. How's it going, Michael?
It's going really, really well. And ZorkFest is officially launched. So buy your super early bird ticket and book your rooms before they announce the NFL schedule because we're still not sure, even though I don't follow this stuff so closely, we're still not sure if that's going to be a Raiders home weekend, which will definitely impact the price of your hotel rooms if you wait until that's announced.
That's a good tip indeed. Yeah. Because they will raise
Well,
that.
you need to think about it now. I mean, this is the thing with Vegas. Once that NFL schedule is announced, and the home games, depending on what teams are playing too, have a little bit of variability, a little bit of variability, it can really affect those Vegas room rates. Like you never had to worry about that before because most things like like the big conventions, the big concerts, things like that. Usually that's been announced, but I think now the NFL schedule maybe is like next week. I don't know. Somebody will correct me, but I do think it's important to pay attention to that because some of those weekends become crazy, crazy high capacity weekends, mostly because of the visiting teams, fans who want to come watch their team in Las Vegas. Can you imagine that?
Who knew? And also, the same thing is happening out here right now because EDC, Electric Daisy Carnival, is starting next week. So, lots of the hotel room prices over the weekend and stuff like that coming up is going to be crazy. Although I think it's only Resorts World who's going to get the most profit out of that because they have a partnership with EDC. But yeah, room rates everywhere are going through the roof.
Yeah, that's right. And I think also Resorts World is located in a really good location with regard to where all isn't it that fairgrounds or something where the EDC stuff is, or was that last year? Or am I totally wrong about that?
Totally wrong about that. It's actually the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Like I said,
Easy to mix up though. I mean, it is a festival, it's a music festival and festival ground, so you would think it would happen there, but nah, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That's where they usually do that. So yeah. All right, shall we get on with the news?
we should get on with the news.
All right, here we go. Casino operations at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas will move in-house as Mohegan Sun exits the resort in the coming months. Virgin Hotels and Mohegan Sun announced in a joint statement that an integrated gaming offering will eventually fall under the management of resort president Cliff Atkinson. The two parties will begin a transition period, and once complete, Mohegan Sun will no longer manage or lease Virgin Hotels Casino. Mohegan Sun, the arm of the Mohegan tribe, has run the casino at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas since the rebranded resort opened in 2021. Mohegan's entry made it the first tribal gaming operator to have a presence in the Las Vegas Strip resort corridor. Quote, "We are grateful for the collaboration with Mohegan, and we will continue to work together to ensure a well-ordered transition of casino operations," end quote, Atkinson said in a statement. The transition is a natural progression in our journey to provide guests of Virgin Hotels Las Vegas with a seamless resort experience, he also said. That being said, Virgin Hotels says they do not expect any significant disruptions for guests or employees. The gaming transition is subject to regulatory approval. And that's going to do it for the news. And now for the views. Michael, what are your thoughts?
This is just so curious. Actually, what are my thoughts are? Did you have any idea this was coming?
No, not at all. I don't. I'm not privy to these kind of things usually. But some people usually are. Name sounds like
I didn't
Scott.
even see a rumor. I didn't even see a rumor out there because it's such corporate speak. The casino operations at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas will move in-house as Mohegan Sun exits the resort in the coming months.
Yeah, it sounded like it was sort of a swift decision. I'm not sure if it was a move by Mohegan to leave Virgin or Virgin decided to part ways with Mohegan. But I mean, if it is an in-house kind of a thing, then Virgin's going to profit, of course, because they're not only going to save money, they're also going to make more money as well because they're not going to have to hand over the control to another organization. But it's still kind of weird. I mean, they've only been doing this since 2021, so 3 years later, and Mohegan is out. I don't know. The whole thing just seems kind of weird to me.
No, it does seem weird. And it is, it's one of those kind of things where somebody, the person operating the casino is different than the owner of the casino. You saw a little bit of that when Rio, when Rio was sold from Caesars Entertainment, Caesars was still operating the casino. I think now that's completely transitioned. So that isn't the most unusual thing. What I think is interesting here is that Mohegan was the first tribal gaming operator with a presence in Las Vegas. And Mohegan on the East Coast, at least in Connecticut, is one of the premier casino properties in the country. They also have a Mohegan in the Poconos off the top of my head, and they also had an arrangement with resorts in Atlantic City, which I believe also has come to an end or is coming to an end. So what's sort of interesting is that it was a great thing for Mohegan, being very East Coast based, to be able to have a partnership, a strong partnership in the same program. It was actually the same loyalty program, Momentum, in the Las Vegas market. So I don't understand exactly what went wrong here, because that's something that's really great. Like, this is the great thing about Unity with Hard Rock, with them bringing together the programs. You have properties in Atlantic City and Tampa and Fort Lauderdale and now Mirage Rock. And usually that's really good for loyalty programs to have multiple properties. And it's actually one of the reasons why people love Caesars and MGM, because you have all of these different properties you can go to. So I would love to. I did not see any rumors about this coming. I would love to, any rumors about this happening. But I'm so curious what went wrong here, if Mohegan, because I'd never seen that Mohegan really marketed really hard. So I'm super curious. And I'm also curious what the casino loyalty program is going to be like, because what becomes really interesting, this could be like another Fontainebleau, where you have another independent casino loyalty program, which is just one property. And that's always super interesting and super cool. So we shall see.
Indeed, indeed. Um, so there's been some chatter about something with Wynn and UAE and stuff like that. Not really my wheelhouse.
That's awesome. Not really my win house.
Not really my wheelhouse. More your wheelhouse. Uh, let's get on with the teas.
Absolutely. Well, Wynn Resorts has released new images of its latest luxury resort, which is not due to open until 2027. And just so we could be completely clear on where it's located, it is located in
Ras Al Khaimah.
Ras Al Khaimah is how we believe is the correct pronunciation. Ras Al Khaimah in the United Arab Emirates. And this development is the company's first beachfront resort and is being built on a beautiful island of almost 62 hectares jutting into the Arabian Gulf. And this is pretty darn exciting, especially because there's going to be a casino in the United Arab Emirates. But it sounds great, overlooking its own white sand beach with views of both the Arabian Gulf and the natural beauty of Ras Al Khaimah, rising to the Hajar Mountains. And the Wynn Island will offer guests the full complement of luxury amenities and experiences. 1,500 rooms, well-appointed suites, and 22 opulent private villa estates situated on a newly designed marina adjacent to the resort. There will be extensive poolscape adjacent to the beach with multiple swimming and wading pools. Water features private cabanas and tropical landscaping covering 3.6 hectares. The curated collection of 22 dining, lounge, and bar experiences, a 15,000 square meter shopping esplanade. This is pretty exciting, though I don't see much mention of what's going to happen with this casino, because I know there's supposed to be a casino there. At least I thought there was. So that's sort of interesting. Maybe they just want to talk about the resort first. Construction began in 2023, and is due to end in 2027. It is a very fast growing uh, tourism market. So that will be interesting. It's so interesting that they don't mention uh, much about gaming. The only word gaming that comes up in this press release is the Wynn Design and Development has created all of Wynn's bespoke gaming resorts. So I guess this is another one. And having designed and developed iconic resorts on two continents and now with another in Ras Al Khaimah, it is safe to say no single design and architecture team has had a greater impact on the creation of gaming resorts globally than Wynn Design and Development. And I would agree with that. We were talking recently about the Roger Thomas book, and even though he's uh, retired now and has handed things off, the Wynn Design and Development team is pretty renowned for the resorts they create. So this is cool news. And this press release just came out the other day. And of course, it has to do with Wynn. And I'm going to go on record now saying that I definitely want to be at the opening of this resort. I was at the opening of Wynn Palace in Cotai, and I was at the opening of Encore Boston Harbor. So this is another one I would like on my list of Wynn resorts to be at. And what's interesting is I think it looks like they're calling it, yeah, they're calling it a Wynn Resort, which is interesting because remember, Encore Boston Harbor was going to be called Wynn, and because of some of Steve Wynn's legal issues and Massachusetts gaming, remember gaming was new in Massachusetts, they renamed it Encore Boston Harbor. So will be interesting to see what happens, but very, very cool. And thank you for putting together the slideshow today, Michael.
Oh, no problem. Have you ever been to the UAE?
I have not.
Oh, this is going to be a first time travel experience for you then.
Yes, I booked a lot of clients to that area of the world, but that will be a first time travel. So I'm going to wait. I'll allow it to be a complete first time travel experience.
I think there's
But of course,
different.
2027, that's a couple of years.
Yeah.
The resort will open to the public in early 2027. Okay, so early 2027. I think they'll keep. I wonder if they'll keep on schedule. Wynn Palace was a little bit delayed in Cotai, which is in Macau. It's an area of Macau, and I don't remember Encore Boston Harbor. I think that was close to on time, but don't quote me on that.
Alrighty. So I'm pretty sure there are different rules to follow in the UAE as there are here in the United States. Is that going to be something that you're going to be brushing up on so that you don't find yourself in any international incidents while you're over there?
I would say I would suggest that it's a really great idea not to get arrested in the UAE. But that's a interesting, it's an interesting thing because usually, you have a lot of Muslim countries that are dry, and then you have some that aren't. Like if you go to, Saudi Arabia or Egypt, those are pretty much so more like dry country, even though they serve alcohol. Well, actually, I think Saudi Arabia is totally a dry country, but I don't. It's not my area of expertise. But this whole idea of this resort, which is going to have gambling and alcohol, is sort of interesting. So, did I say, when I said that about Egypt, that's not really true. I was thinking in my mind of Egypt Air, which happens to be a dry airline.
Mhm.
That's a very because some airlines are dry, whereas other airlines like Emirates and others aren't dry. Whereas Egypt isn't. Egypt has casinos and drinking, and people come from places like Saudi Arabia to gamble and drink in Egypt. So I was totally wrong. You caught me by surprise on that. But basically, I would say modesty is very, very important. And in a very, very encapsulated way to say it, you would not get away with any public drunkenness or disturbances the way you might be shown a little bit more grace in the United States or Europe. So I would not mess around, and I definitely wouldn't mess around with anything that breaks local drug laws.
Indeed. What can you say about coffee dice?
What can I say about Coffee Dice? What I can say about Coffee Dice is we launched ZorkFest today. There will be additional add-ons. One of the most popular add-ons is Coffee Dice. That is run by Josh of Crap Vegas. That is when we all get together and play craps in the morning. It is planned to be in the morning of the Sunday morning of ZorkFest. Most of ZorkFest is on Saturday. And we have, if everything works out the way it's supposed to be, and I always have to put an asterisk next to that, we expect to have a reserved craps table, and people sign up for that, and we all get to play together, which is really cool to be able to have basically like 14 people who are friends or, listen to the same podcasters and other people at the table. So that will actually, we're not releasing any of the add-ons for ZorkFest until July. A couple of reasons for that. We haven't figured them all out. The other thing is we're waiting for some logistical confirmation from Caesars because things like a private craps table do take a lot of logistical confirmation. The other thing is it's an add-on, so as long as you've purchased a ZorkFest ticket, you can participate in Coffee Dice as long as you get a Coffee Dice ticket. But we want to be fair to everybody because some people won't all buy tickets immediately or trying to figure out their logistics. So we'll give at least 2 weeks notice and say, hey, we're going to sell the Coffee Dice add-on tickets in July. So we just want you to be aware of that, on the date. But I just wanted to bring that up because a few people had asked me about that today, and we just weren't in a position to release that. But more so, we didn't want to sell out the Coffee Dice table in the first day. So we wanted to give everyone sort of like a fair warning and fair chance to get a spot of Coffee Dice if they were interested. I'm hoping to also have some other casino events. We will also have some group gambling on Sunday, and there will be gambling all weekend. But I just wanted to bring that up too.
All right, cool. Before we get going, is there anything on your mind? Any closing remarks that you want to share?
No, this is great. Just lots of good things happening, and I'm very excited about ZorkFest. And as soon as my head gets a little bit more clear, I'll talk a little bit more about the programming and stuff on that. But probably we'll cover other topics for a little while first.
All right, sounds good. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Luxury travel booking, TravelZork.travel. Visit us at TravelZork.travel to plan your next amazing vacation to anywhere in the world. And please join the conversation on social media. You can find us easily. All social platforms are at TravelZork. We'll see you next time.